So you learned about heroin from speaking to the veterans that came back from the Vietnam War, right? You saw their struggle and addiction. What made you turn around and want to sell at that time?
Well, I remember this old brother used to come every day because he needed his morning bag. I didn't know it then, and I used to be wondering, like, I was the only dude out because I wasn't going to school about 5:36. Because I love when the sun came up in East New York. Because let me tell you a quick story. In East New York, they used to not give you a nickel for a bottle. So there was a time that you couldn't walk barefooted in New York. You get cut. Nobody could walk a street in the hood barefoot. There was thousands of broken glass. But in the morning, my brother, when I used to sit on the corner store in East New York on Pinkin Avenue and the sun would rise, all those glass used to shine on the reflection, and I didn't have to look in the sky to see a star. I seen all the fallen stars on my neighborhood. And I used to always tell myself, you're going to put each one of them back in heaven. One day you're going to have the power to take the stars and put them back because I didn't feel that I wanted to look up anymore. I just knew the broken bottles, the broken glass, the shine of my hood. And I tell you, and I found comfort in wanting to be that, man, that I thought I had to deal heroin. So when the guy told me the story, how they were used in Vietnam and how they knew they used heroin to keep the soldiers alive, to fight that war, and he told me how they brought it back and how most of his guys were all addicted, the black and brown man, because they did the worst fighting in Vietnam. I'm just keeping it 100 because this is what they told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but I didn't see it on Discovery. I heard it from the dude that was over there. And then he used to go put a needle in his neck while I watched so the cops won't bust him. And I used to play with his son. But he was real enough to show me real life. So I said, that's the product? Got all you motherfuckers out here at 5:30 in the morning begging and picking up fucking bottles? Then that's the shit I gotta sell. You see? Capitalistic pig at his best. Seeing oppression, having sympathy, having everything, and becoming Johnson and Johnson. I created heroin. I created COD with a couple of my friends, found out how to bag that shit up, and live off the oppression and the sorrows of the broken dreams of my people. So I could have Adidas and walk this way. So I could put on my gazelles and my motherfucking black sheepskin and shine on the oppressed people that came home broken, and now I could make my name off of. Even though I loved them and played with them, I needed to make it, so I sold it to them. And that's what happened, and I'm not gonna lie, I was that dude, I didn't give a fuck. I was gonna make it. I will hear your story, love you, give you a free bag in the morning, give you a free bag at night, bring me 10 customers, I'll give you $1 bag. I took care of the heroin addict, right? I thought I was taking care because I was better than every drug dealer in East New York. I fed them, I gave them their shit. I became big time. But imagine that, the devil got me so lost that I gave heroin for free to get rich. So this is my point, right? I became I became Rockefeller. I found gold. I found, brown gold. And I used it to make my family name and my family in the street have everything the Rockefellers had. At 16 and 17, I was living. Fuck that. We know what it was to make that money. Lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? But it lasted short, bro, because if you lose your values, sure enough, if your parents gave you a conscience and God made you human, you got to feel guilty doing that shit. And like 70% of us that were lifestyle of rich and famous became the lifestyle of crackheads and dope fiends. You start hating yourself so much that you use the product to commit self-suicide because you got everything, but you got nothing. And that's when I fell into addiction, fell to the remorse of what I was, and I wanted to be dead, but I was too much of a coward to blow my brains out that I used crack. And I became irrelevant. I disappeared from the earth for 3 years.
So
And
you did feel conflicted about doing it at some point. It caught
all
up
the
to you.
time. But just because you conflicted doesn't mean it replaces the ambition and the greed to be more successful than you are. So that's what I mean. That's what conscience and values, if you don't teach them at home, and what the world offers gives you more than the value you were taught, that's when you start making deals with the devil, right? That's the deal with the devil, is that compromise of the value over life and riches and fame. And my guilty conscience was there. So I thought by giving them a free bag in the morning, that means whoever worked for me wasn't sick. Giving them a free bag at night, I put them to sleep all right. And I gave you $1 a bag. So that means you could support your habit without having to go pick up cans and bottles from the other guys in the street and get beat up because you're short. Because COD is giving you how to make your money. And in this hood, you all right. And all my dolphins were all right. What he got me, he got other capitalistic pigs like me to come shoot me and say, you're gonna stop that shit. You see what I'm saying? But I'm showing you that was the economy I chose, even though it was destroying the very thing I love. But remember, I still didn't know who I was. I knew I had a conscience. I knew I had religious beliefs through my family, but I didn't know how to use that tool for the people and the compassion I had because I was so hurt and angry of not having. I'd rather have that than that. Those emotions and sympathy, what that shit's gonna give me? It's gonna buy me bread? You gonna go get your sneakers because you felt sorry for that motherfucker? Sell him that bag of dope, nigga. That's gonna get you what you need. I feel bad. All right, here. I'll give it to you for 9. I just cleaned my conscience. I took off $1. Isn't that the way America does it? Don't pay taxes, take the shirt. See, I became American, full-blown American. But then I fell because I seen that wasn't my culture, that wasn't my nature, and that wasn't what I was born to do. That
You
was
know,
not.
the example you're giving is a great example of the stories that we tell ourselves to justify things, right? Yeah, I'm doing something bad, but you know what? I went ahead and did this, so it makes it okay. You know what I mean? Like it makes me feel better that I went ahead and took care of them.
Those little compromises in a community, if each family compromises like anything, if you cut a little bit of each thing, there's nothing. So as we compromise values and things for other things, are we seeing our children's resiliency against the streets, bad information disappear? So we took the first guard of our children's protection was the home life protected by adults that was with them 24 hours before the year of 5 when we had to hand them over to the school that was going to teach every lie contradicted to the first 5 years of what I told them what love, respect, real is, be honest. When they go to school, they're taught the first lies. So you have to put all your love and family and brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts back to when we see a seed that's just born. Oh, we have a baby shower. No, show them each face. Make them pledge that they are guardians to that child and they will protect his values. And they will be the hedge around that community that wherever he walks, their eyes, their hearts, their actions is to protect his future. You got a new neighborhood. You got a suburb. Right?